Okay, let's talk titanium, specifically Keith titanium. So everybody knows SnowPeak. SnowPeak is a Japanese company, makes outdoor gear, makes really high quality outdoor gear. I really like them. This is their 450 milliliter double walled mug. So it's actually a vacuum sealed mug. Does a great job, says Titanium Japan on the bottom. Does a great job of keeping things warm. Actually, I did a test compared to just a Ziploc Tupperware with a Reflectex Cozy, and they work equally well. This one probably costs $4 and actually weighs in at 1.8 ounces, whereas the mug weighs 4.6. So this is the lightest option. Problem with this is you are heating up your food in plastic. Who knows what's leaching out of it, and it's not durable. So it's something to use and you'll throw away in a little bit. Whereas a mug like this you could have for 30 years. So that's the advantage of that. So I went looking. 450 is their double-walled mug. They don't really have a larger double-walled mug. They used to make one in the 600 size and one in the 860 size. They're not making it right now. So I went looking for a double-walled mug that's a little bit larger that you could rehydrate an entire meal in. And I found this company, Keith Titanium. They're a Chinese company, and they're basically making a ton of stuff for the outdoors, and also out of titanium. So this is a 600 milliliter double-walled mug that you can rehydrate a meal in. It also comes with a superior lid, because if you rehydrate a meal in this mug, you can put the lid on. If you want to drink out of it, you can open it. If you want to, let's say, do your dishes, you can fill this with a little bit of water, give it a good shake, give it a drink, or dump it out, and then your mug is mostly clean. Can't do that with this one, because if you shake it, it just comes out these holes. I did find a REI cup that has a silicone top that fits this, and it's a little bit better than this one. But sorry about the helicopter, Los Angeles for you. But this Keith Titanium 600 milliliter mug, again, it's double walled. The downside is it is heavy. 6.4 ounces total. The upside is, like I said, you can have it for a very long time, and you know, everybody's got their pieces of gear that are worth carrying for the heaviness. In terms of quality, seems to be very, very similar to the SnowPeak. I don't see any quality issues with it. Another, I don't know if you'd bring both these at the same time, but another advantage is they stack perfectly. Not with the lid on, but they do stack quite well. In terms of these two companies, I mean, I just don't see any difference in quality. In terms of it's got to be welded, right? It's got to be two pieces of titanium that are welded. But anyway, so now when I go solo backpacking, this is my one piece of gear for eating and rehydrating meals. Just throw the dried meal in there, throw boiling water in there, put the cap on, leave it for 10 minutes, eat out of it. It's durable. I'll have it for years. The other thing I found by Keith Titanium is their double and single walled bowls. Now, SnowPeak has a bowl that is similar, about the same size, but it's deeper, so it's a little bit higher, and it's narrower. I like this shape better. This Keith Titanium bowl is really excellent. I have had it on 2 trips now. It's super lightweight. It's 1.8 ounces for the single wall bowl. The one drawback is that titanium transfers heat immediately, so if you put boiling water or super hot food in here, you cannot hold it with your hand. It will scorch your hand. You can hold it basically by the rim, or you can get a bandana or a piece of clothing to use to hold it, but that's what led me to also order a double-walled bowl. So this one's double-walled. Again, the quality is very high. I see nothing wrong with it at all. The one thing I don't like about it is because it has 2 walls, it's basically twice the amount of material as the single wall. So where the single wall weighs 1.9, this one weighs 3.7, so it's almost 2 ounces heavier. And it's hard to say if that it's 2 ounces, right? So let's say you do something like you get a sleeping bag that's 16 ounces lighter. Then that 2 ounces doesn't really matter. The only advantage I see of the double-walled bowl is you're not going to burn your hands when you're holding your food. The double-walled mug I really like because I like to sip on a cup of tea for an extended period of time in the morning or at night, right? So the mugs, I see the double wall as a big advantage. For the bowl, when you've got hot food, I usually just scarf it down. As soon as it's cool enough to eat, I eat it all really fast. So there's 2 things right there. 1, it's going to cool down a lot faster in the single-walled bowl. And 2, you're going to eat it really fast. There's no real point in keeping it warm for extended periods of time with the double wall. And lastly, the most effective way to keep something warm is to put a lid on it. And neither of these have a lid. So the double wall is really, it seems like it's a luxury item. All it really does, it's a way of being able to hold it. I mean, the only advantage I see, it's a way of being able to hold the bowl while you're eating without burning yourself. Is that worth 2 ounces? You be the judge. Again, this is almost a more effective solution because you've got the lid as well. So the lid's going to keep it warm. If you're rehydrating stuff in here, you wouldn't be able to rehydrate stuff in this bowl. But also you can put the lid on tight, put some water in there, shake it up, and clean it that way, which is really nice. But I would say the advantage to this is when you're not rehydrating meals. When I go camping with 3 to 5 people, usually we just make a big pot of food and cook right in the pot. And then the advantage of that is if you had a family, or if you go with a bunch of people, you could bring a bunch of these bowls, stack them. They stack with the single. The double doesn't stack in the single, but the singles stack with themselves and inside the double. So that's nice. That makes a nice compact package. And when you're cooking, when you're not rehydrating meals, but when you're actually cooking meals, it is a nice bowl. And like I said, the metal is going to last forever. You're going to know titanium is one of the most inert metals on the planet. Nothing's going to leach out of it when it gets hot. You're not going to be drinking chemicals. And honestly, it's going to look sweet in 20 years when it's all beaten up and really used well. So I'm a huge fan of metal or things that's going to last. And actually this bowl and this Tupperware bowl are about the same weight. So I'm going to highly recommend the single wall bowl. I'm going to recommend it over the SnowPeak version because I like the shape better. It's 550 milliliters, which is sort of a perfect size for a dinner. And it's super lightweight. You just got to be careful when it's super hot not to touch the bottom. If you don't mind the extra 2 ounces, the double wall bowl is pretty sweet. You got the luxury of not burning your hands. If you're a slow eater, if you've got something like soup here or noodles, they're going to stay warmer for longer, but because there's no top, it's not going to be that much of a difference between these 2 things. So I highly recommend those. You should check out Keith Titanium. I got this stuff on eBay. They have a website, but you can't order from it, but there's a lot of Chinese shops that will ship to you from overseas on eBay. They're also pretty affordable. This bowl I think is about $23 or something, and this one is a little bit more than that, the double wall. Again, I'm not sure, the weight difference. These 2 are going to do almost the same thing. This one's only about 550 milliliters and it weighs 1.8 ounces. And this one's a little bit bigger, more durable, going to last longer, but the whole package weighs in at 6.5 ounces. So you're talking significant heavier weight here. But again, it just depends on what's important to you, and if you can cut weight other ways, and it's important to have a big mug that you can. The great thing about this mug is you can drink out of it, you can eat out of it. It's the only container you'll need, and it'll last forever. Not forever, but for a long time, a lot longer than something like this. So anyway, there's a little look at some Keith Titanium stuff. I hadn't seen any video reviews on this stuff, so I wanted to do one. I'm also going to get their titanium chopsticks and try those out. So maybe I'll do a review on those a little bit later, but chopsticks are chopsticks, so maybe you won't even need one.